what do you do when you're buying land? This is part 2. If you missed part 1, go back and check it out.
Now, let's talk about poo. Just kidding. Let's talk about septic tanks. Do you need a septic tank, or is there sewage available? In other words, like, are you gonna have to install a septic tank? Some land actually already has a septic tank on it. However, a lot of those are defunct. So just don't necessarily bet on the fact that something that's already existing, if a house got pummeled over, that septic tank could be in complete disarray. So keep that in mind. So basically your options for your poo are sewer or septic. Sewer means that the county or city or whoever is providing a utility service for your sewer. Now, if you're the more rural, it's so hard for me to say that word, the more rural you are, the more likely you're gonna need a septic tank. So if you're within the city limits, you're probably not going to need a septic tank. Even in Knoxville, the further you get out from the city, the more likely you're gonna need a septic tank. I noticed that a lot of my out-of-town clients are like, ooh, a septic tank, but it's not too crazy. Actually, interestingly, fun fact for you, more than 21 million households in the US use a septic system, not public sewer. And most of that is in New England and the deep south. There you go. So within Sevier County, if we just talk about like what exactly does this look like? For a septic tank, a permit will be about $300. So yes, you have to have a permit. There's also gonna be some soil testing, which is gonna be done. That could be $750 to $1,000. And again, these are all super, super, super rough numbers. Just wanted to give you an idea. Because when you get that permit, you may be required to do a soil or perk test. You're also gonna need an excavator. So there are septic companies that install a septic tank, but then you also have to have an excavator to actually do the digging for the actual tank itself, and those are two different things. So when I called around to get a quote for a septic tank, it was literally like the freaking wild, wild west. Everyone was all over the place. So, like, I'm not kidding. So I got a bunch of different quotes. I had one local septic company quote me $6,100 to $12,000. Another one quoted me $4,500 to $65,000. That is not a joke. And I don't know if that's for like one of these 20-bedroom, $1 million freaking cabins. I don't know who's paying $65,000 to discard their poo, but you might as well have gotten it connected to the freaking utility sewer. I was told that on average for a 2-bedroom septic installation, you're gonna be looking at $7,000 to $9,000. Personally, I would budget 10 grand and call it a day, and just to be safe. Let's talk about water. So similar to septic, you will want to find out if you have water utility available. Again, the further out you go, the more likely you're gonna need to have a well installed. So roughly 23 million households have their own private wells for drinking water in the United States. And again, I cannot reiterate this enough. The more rural you get, the more likely you're gonna need a well. So to install a well, you actually don't need a permit, but there is a fee, a $75 fee that your licensed well person is going to pay to the state. Say like, this well is official and it keeps the data on the well. So now, what about digging? So this is a very interesting question, because when you get it, basically what happens is they have to drill down until they hit water. So this could be a 200-foot well, and this could be, I heard somebody, when I was doing some research, they have like a 1,000-foot well, and I was like, what the frick? So anyways, the best way to know how far down you're going to need to drill is to ask your neighbors. So you're gonna wanna make friends with where you buy the land and see how far down do they have to drill. So you're gonna get an estimate based on that. So one local drilling company quoted me $25,000, while another one said $12,000 to $15,000. So another one said that for a 200-foot, that would be about $12,000. So again, prices are all over the board. Obviously, the less they have to drill, the less money it's going to take. So again, shop around, ask your neighbors, and get some info. Now, we're almost done. Hang in with me. What about the actual structure itself? For Sevier County specifically, anything that's going to have a permanent foundation, including a tiny home, will have to have a building permit. Now, if you're doing the work yourself, you don't have to have a general contractor named when you put that permit in. However, if you are not going to be doing the work at the time when you get that permit, you're gonna name your GC. I don't wanna say it's a bit easier if you're doing it yourself, but it's just a little less red tape in the sense that you're not naming a general contractor, etc. So as far as permits for what you're actually building, so This is again within Sevier County. You want to check exactly where you're looking. But for example, in Sevier County, if you're wanting to put something with a chassis or a trailer, you do not need a permit for that. Those permits go through the actual manufacturer of that, like mobile home or RV, or maybe it's a tiny home that's on a chassis or whatever. That kind of functions as like a camper, then you don't need a permit for that. Those are the manufacturers, they are licensed to manufacture those. There's no permit needed. You would still need permit for like septic and well, but not the actual structure itself. Now, if you're anything with a permanent foundation, you must have a permit to build. And like on Sevier County, Knox County, Blount County, all of them have websites, and I'll put the links below in the comments where you can go and check out exactly the process. And then this doesn't even get into the fact of like, if you're wanting to Airbnb something, if you're wanting this to be a short-term rental, you're gonna wanna check permits for the area. And again, if you're out in the county, there's really no jurisdiction on that, depending on which county you're talking about. So I think we covered quite a bit there. If you have questions, call me or go to Google, because I'm not an expert by any means, but I can help you in terms of finding a land that you feel like would be a good fit for what you're looking for. So again, I'm Haley Jones, I'm with eXp Realty, and good luck on your land search. If you have questions, give me a call. Talk to you soon. Also, like and subscribe to my channel because I would really love your support.